The San Francisco 49ers are facing a challenge that no team wants to deal with so early in the season. Nick Bosa, the heart and soul of their defense, suffered a torn ACL in that high-stakes matchup against the Arizona Cardinals. It was a devastating moment, one that sent shockwaves not only through the locker room, but through the entire fan base. Seeing a player of Bosa's caliber, someone who embodies dedication, discipline, and raw athletic talent, go down like that is heartbreaking. He's not just another defensive end. He's a player who has consistently changed games since the moment he entered the league, a player whose presence on the field affects the strategy of every opposing offense. And now, for the rest of the season, the 49ers will have to navigate life without him. Bosa's journey has never been easy. His body has endured more setbacks than most players face in an entire career. Going back to his senior year in high school, he suffered a partial ACL tear. At Ohio State, he battled through a core muscle injury and surgery in his final year, challenges that could have derailed any athlete. Despite those setbacks, he was drafted high and quickly became a force on the professional stage. His rookie year showcased his incredible talent, but injuries have followed him over the years, each one threatening to stall what should have been an uninterrupted rise to greatness. In 2020, he tore his left ACL, having already faced issues with his right in high school. Then came a groin injury last season, which, by all accounts, was more serious than initially reported. And now, early in this season's third game, he tears the right ACL again, a cruel repetition that no athlete wants to experience. The emotional impact is immediate. Teammates flooded social media with messages of support, highlighting not only the respect they have for him, but also the void his absence creates. He was elected team captain, a testament to the influence he holds in that locker room. Bosa is more than just a pass rusher. He's a leader, a player whose intensity elevates those around him. Watching him post a single caption of a broken heart on Instagram tells the story of someone who gives everything to the game, someone who feels the weight of lost opportunities with every injury setback. For the 49ers, the loss is as strategic as it is emotional. Bosa isn't just part of the defensive line. He is the line. His ability to pressure quarterbacks, disrupt blocking schemes, and demand double teams is irreplaceable. And now the coaching staff faces a daunting task of recalibrating a defense that relied heavily on his elite skills. Despite the blow, the 49ers showed some resilience against the Cardinals. Even without Bosa on the field, they managed to secure a win, demonstrating depth and preparation. But sustaining that success over an entire season is a different story. Defensive coordinator Robert Saleh now has to get creative, balancing aggression with caution, adjusting personnel packages, and devising schemes that put the remaining players in positions to succeed. The back end of the defense will need to compensate for the loss of the disruptive force that Bosa provided. Saleh's past experience in similar situations, including when Bosa was injured back in 2020, suggests that the team can hold its own, but it will require precision, adaptability, and perhaps a little bit of luck to maintain dominance without one of the league's top pass rushers leading the charge. The broader context is equally challenging. The 49ers have seen multiple players suffer injuries in recent seasons, many of them coming shortly after signing significant contract extensions. Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Brock Purdy all face setbacks, and each absence has tested the team's depth and strategy. The cumulative effect of these injuries is a reminder of the physical toll of professional football and underscores the importance of not only talent, but also smart roster management. High-profile contracts can quickly become liabilities when injuries strike, forcing teams to rely on younger or less experienced players to fill massive gaps. In the case of the 49ers, it has also highlighted the significance of elite coaching, meticulous game planning, and the ability to adapt on the fly. Kyle Shanahan and Saleh have already demonstrated that they can navigate adversity, but Bosa's absence elevates the stakes for every defensive snap and every strategic decision moving forward. The conversation now inevitably shifts to potential trade targets and strategies for maintaining defensive dominance. While some players have emerged as promising contributors, No one can immediately replicate Bosa's unique combination of speed, power, and technique. Bryce Huff has shown flashes of brilliance and could step up in the short term, but the responsibilities that once fell on Bosa's shoulders will now have to be distributed across the line, making the defensive rotation more complex and demanding. The innovative NASCAR package, which allowed flexibility in positioning defensive ends and tackles, will require recalibration. Players like Euros Matos, Mel Williams, and Sam Okawanu can contribute, but the system's effectiveness will hinge on strategic creativity and disciplined execution. The coaching staff faces a true test of adaptability, ensuring that each player is utilized effectively while minimizing the risk of additional injuries under increased pressure. Beyond immediate game planning, the team's front office must consider the broader landscape of mid-season opportunities. Trade discussions, potential acquisitions, and player evaluations will all come into play as the 49ers seek to compensate for the loss of one of their most impactful defensive assets. Certain players around the league, such as Trey Hendrickson, Kayvon DeBido, and Trayvon Walker, have shown the ability to influence games and might be attainable depending on team needs, contract situations, and willingness to negotiate. These decisions are never simple, as they involve assessing not only talent but also fit, long-term strategy, and salary considerations. Every acquisition carries risk, but in a season already complicated by injuries, bold moves could make the difference between a defensive unit that merely survives and one that thrives. Even with the uncertainty, the 49ers' early season performance demonstrates resilience. The team remains undefeated, and the coaching staff has found ways to maximize the talent available. The offensive side continues to provide stability, and strategic adjustments on defense have allowed the team to maintain competitiveness in key moments. The true measure of success will be the ability to sustain this performance over the long haul, keeping the players healthy, leveraging depth, and executing schemes that force opponents to adapt. Football is a game of margins, and with Bosa sidelined, every single play, every blitz, and every defensive adjustment gains heightened importance. What stands out in this situation is not only the adversity, but also the opportunity for growth and leadership. Younger players now have the chance to step into more prominent roles, and the coaching staff has an opportunity to innovate. History has shown that teams facing significant injuries can find ways to compete, and with Saleh and Shanahan at the helm, the 49ers have the guidance, experience, and structure to do just that. The season is far from over, but the loss of Nick Bosa is a defining moment that will test the resilience, strategy, and character of the team at every level. With Nick Bosa out, the 49ers must now explore every possible avenue to keep their defense competitive. The reality of the NFL is brutal. Elite players are rare, and losing one of the best pass rushers in the league immediately shifts the balance of any defense. While Bryce Huff has shown promising bursts of speed and the ability to penetrate the backfield, the double teams and attention Bosa used to command will now fall squarely on him. This is a new kind of pressure, one that will test Huff's technique, stamina, and consistency. The coaching staff will have to carefully manage snap counts and design plays that maximize his strengths while minimizing exposure to injury. It is no longer just a matter of talent. It becomes a chess game where every alignment, every stunt, and every disguise in the pass rush matters more than ever. The trade market has emerged as a potential lifeline for San Francisco. Players like Trey Hendrickson, who has led the league in sacks over the past 2 seasons, could be attainable depending on how other teams approach the mid-season landscape. The Bengals, facing uncertainty with their quarterback situation and internal contract decisions, might consider moving him if they can extract value in draft picks. Hendrickson brings not only sack production, but also experience in complex defensive systems, making him an immediate contributor rather than a developmental project. For the 49ers, a player like him could alleviate the burden on the remaining pass rushers and restore some of the versatility lost with Bosa's absence. Other potential targets exist across the league, although each comes with caveats. Kayvon DeBido of the Giants has shown flashes of playmaking ability, but plays on a struggling team, which could make him available at a reasonable cost. Trayvon Walker from the Jaguars offers youth, athleticism, and the upside to develop into a premier edge rusher, but his lack of a contract extension adds an element of uncertainty. There are also intriguing options like Jalen Phillips from the Dolphins, a productive player when healthy, though injury concerns may temper expectations. The 49ers front office must weigh immediate impact versus long-term value, balancing the need to plug the gap now while considering how each acquisition fits into the team's overall strategy for the coming seasons. Even within these constraints, the 49ers have reasons to be cautiously optimistic. Robert Saleh has proven capable of extracting performance from units missing key personnel. The defensive line has depth, and players like Euros Matos, Mel Williams, and Sam Okawanu can rotate into heavier roles, although the loss of Bosa limits the creative alignment packages that allowed the team to exploit mismatches earlier in the season. The coaching staff will have to innovate, mixing aggressive schemes with calculated risk to maintain pressure on opposing quarterbacks. Situational football, including third-and-long scenarios and red zone stands, will take on added significance, demanding flawless execution from both the line and the secondary. One advantage the 49ers retain is their strong locker room culture. Leadership from captains and veteran players can help younger or less experienced contributors rise to the occasion. Players like George Kittle and Brock Purdy, when healthy, offer stability on offense, giving the defense a bit more breathing room. The combination of disciplined coaching, a supportive culture, and well-designed schemes can mitigate some of the loss, though the absence of a game-changing talent like Bosa is always a formidable obstacle. Each game becomes not just a test of skill, but also of mental toughness and adaptability. Financial considerations and contract structures also shape the options available. Bosa's absence highlights a pattern that has emerged over the past few years, where high-profile contract extensions sometimes coincide with injury setbacks. Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, and Brock Purdy all have faced challenges following their deals, reinforcing the idea that roster management in the NFL requires a careful balance between investing in elite talent and ensuring sufficient depth. For San Francisco, the challenge is not merely replacing a player, but finding ways to optimize performance within the constraints of the salary cap and team philosophy. It's a puzzle that demands both short-term creativity and long-term foresight. The strategic adjustments extend beyond individual matchups. Defensive calls will need to emphasize versatility and unpredictability, making it harder for opposing offenses to plan around the absence of Bosa. Zone blitzes, delayed stunts, and disguised coverage schemes can create opportunities for other pass rushers to exploit gaps, while linebackers and safeties must adjust to provide support in both run defense and coverage. The secondary will be tested as quarterbacks adjust their reads, often targeting areas where pressure from the line is expected but now diminished. Every defensive sequence becomes a balancing act between aggression and containment, requiring precise communication and coordination across all 11 players on the field. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The streets of San Francisco were buzzing with anticipation and excitement yesterday, as whispers turned into roars. Justin Jefferson, one of the most electrifying wide receivers in the NFL, has officially signed with the San Francisco 49ers. Sources close to the team say the deal, still under wraps in full financial detail, could reshape the 49ers' offense in ways that fans have only dreamed about. Jefferson, known for his jaw-dropping catches and breakaway speed, was reportedly welcomed to the city with a celebration befitting a superstar. Eyewitnesses claim a small crowd gathered near Levi's Stadium, chanting his name and waving 49ers flags as he arrived for his first press appearance. Insiders hint that Jefferson's arrival may trigger a flurry of moves in the NFL, with rival teams scrambling to recalibrate their defensive strategies. Coaches are said to be excited but cautious, knowing that integrating a talent of Jefferson's caliber requires careful planning. Rumors swirl that the 49ers offensive coordinator has been sketching new playbooks around Jefferson for weeks, aiming to maximize his deep threat potential and yard-after-catch dominance. Social media exploded within minutes, with fans speculating on everything from his possible jersey number to who he might develop instant chemistry with, whether it's an established quarterback or a rising star under center. Analysts whisper that this signing could mark the beginning of a new dynasty in San Francisco, and some even suggest it might influence the MVP race in the seasons to come. Yet, amidst the fanfare, skeptics remain. Can Jefferson replicate his historic performances in a new system, or will defensive schemes catch up quickly? Only time will tell, but for now, the city is in celebration mode. In locker rooms across the league, murmurs of envy and curiosity are spreading. Coaches reportedly exchange quiet comments about how to counter Jefferson, while players wonder if they'll finally face a receiver capable of changing a game with a single catch. Meanwhile, the 49ers faithful are already envisioning highlight reels of deep sideline touchdowns, toe-tapping grabs, and game-winning drives that could become the stuff of legend. One thing is certain. Wherever Justin Jefferson goes, the energy follows, and San Francisco just became the hottest rumor mill in the NFL. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.